तो मैंने सोचा कि बिफोर आई स्पीक समथिंग, मे बी a beautiful bandish that is coming to my mind, I will sing that and then start my talk. So you'll be surprised that I'm actually singing Hindustani classical, or usme the composition that I'm singing is in Punjabi language, and we'll come to that later. So आपके सामने गाती हूं मैं. राग भीमपलासी में है ये composition. Bhimpalasi is a beautiful afternoon rag, So uh, it adds to the flavor and it adds so much to the mood when you are singing something which is adept to that timing of the day. Ah, 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 ah. साढ़े नाल वे मिया साढ़े नाल वे मिया यार सजन दिया रमजा साढ़े नाल वे मिया यार सजन लिया रमजा साढ़े नाल वे साढ़े नाल वे मिया साढ़े नाल वे मिया. So this beautiful composition, what I'm going to talk about is a very, very interesting aspect about music, about the journey of the sound, which is not just about the styles and the nuances and the aesthetics of the gaiki itself, but also about the geographical movement of how the gharanas they took shape. In particular, I'm talking about Gwalior because that's where my roots are. Actually, my roots are Chinswad, and I'll just come back to that. And how the gharana, it develops over generations because it's part of a changing cultural as well as changing cultural and social contexts. Uh, my own journey, a little bit about that, I'll speak. But first, let's talk about Gwalior. As you must have heard about it's a small city, but what it means to the field of music, it's considered to be the abode of music. It was considered to be a place of pilgrimage for musicians. And every musician wanted to sing there because if the audience of Gwalior, they accepted you, you had arrived. So what is it that made Gwalior so important? It's a place where even a child, it was said that agar wahan bachcha bhi rota hai to sur mein rota hai. It means even a child in Gwalior, when he cried in sur. And Gwalior has witnessed and played a major role in the innovation, in the popularization of the styles such as the Drupad, the Khyal, Tarana, Tappa, the Ashtapadi, Pad, and its, sub-varieties. And many styles of singing have flourished here and found acceptance in other places. That is the reason that it is called the Gangotri of the Gharanas of Khayal in Hindustani music, and has produced the musicians of the stature of Mia Tansen, Sangeet Samrat Tansen, Ustad Haddu Hassu Khan Sahab, Ustad Rehmat Khan, Ustad Nisar Hussain Khan, Shankar Pandit Ji, Eknath Pandit, Balkrishna Buai Chalkaranjikar, Vishnu Digambar Paluskar, the list goes on. All those people who are aware about Hindustani classical music, they would know these names. But for all of those who probably are not aware, are not deep into music, I must tell you that one of the reasons why Gwalior retained this kind of a stature of a pilgrimage for music lovers and musicians alike is because of the the Kanansais of music, who also became the patrons to help Gwalior attain such a stature. It came both from the dynasties, the Tomar dynasty, as well as the Scindias, who were chiefly responsible, but also from the people who equally supported the art form and made life very easy for a musician so that he can devote his full time into the field of riyaz and sadhana. They propagated the classical music not only in the courts, but also created general interest in the masses. Fakirullah, an administrator during the Aurangzeb's reign, and who was also a connoisseur of art, has regarded Gwalior as a cultural capital of India. Fakirullah has translated Man Kautuhal, the treatise written by Raja Man Singh Tomar with the help of the musicians in 1619 AD. And he has compared Gwalior with Siraj, the cultural capital of Iran, where the great poets and thinkers like Sheikh Sadi and Hafiz, they were born. So this is a little bit about, the history that I'm telling you. And Raja Man Singh Tomar, who reigned from 1486 to 1516, is considered to be the father of the Drupad style. So Drupad was, of course, prevalent earlier also, but the use of Braj Bhasha apparently came, and Drupad found its widespread acceptance. I'd like to share one very interesting incident around Raja Man Singh Tomar. That's how he met Mrignani. We all have heard Mrignani. She's a much spoken about and written about. Raja Man Singh Tomar, while hunting near the village Rai, he met a tribal girl. He saw a tribal girl who was separating two fighting bullocks with her bare hands. And the Raja was himself so much impressed that he proposed marriage to her. Do you know what the tribal girl put? Two conditions. First, that the water from her village Rai has to come to where she lives, and also a separate palace has to be built for her. So both of them can still be seen in Gwalior, and it's incredible how the pipes were laid for transportation of water to the palace. And Raja Man Singh Tomar is also credited with establishing a music school in Gwalior Fort, where Tansen got his talim. And this is perhaps the first known schools of music in India. So he prepared the ground for the musician of Tansen's stature, for whom it was said, Bhuto na bhavishyati. न कभी हुआ है न कभी होगा, उनके बारे में ऐसा कहा जाता. So Raja Man Singh Tomar is thus called the father of Drupad, and his period can rightly be also called the golden age of the Tomar dynasty. And after Raja Man Singh Tomar, the sunset of the Tomars followed. And just a little bit about Tansen. We've all heard about Tansen. He was born in Behat, which is like 28 miles from Gwalior. And Makarand Pandey and his wife, they were well off, but they didn't have a child. So they were guided by Hazrat Muhammad Ghaus, a saint from Gwalior. And it is said that with the blessings of the Fakir, the couple had a child, and his name was Ram Tanu or Tanna Mishra, who later became famous as Tansen. And he was such a naughty child. He would imitate the sounds of various animals and birds, So one day he was playing as usual, and Swami Haridas of Vrindavan was passing by the forest along with his disciples near Tansen's village. And Tanna, he played a prank and he made sounds similar to tiger, creating a commotion. The Swamiji was completely bewildered and he asked that where is the sound of tiger coming from? And soon the fake tiger was caught, and that was Tanna. And Swami Haridas ji was very, very impressed by his extraordinary ability to imitate sound. And he proposed to his father that he should let Tanna learn from him. And after much persuasion, he stayed with Swamiji. So regarding music, so many stories, so many anecdotes, so many legends come with that, So one cannot help but talk about them, because that also makes us feel that how interesting the perspectives from various angles are. Because he was considered to be Bhuto na Bhavishyati, about Tansen it was called. And also about his guru, Swami Haridas. So once Akbar wished to hear music from Tansens. He said that I have to listen to. If Tansen sings so well, his guru must be so amazing. So he wanted to hear him. So Tansen told Swami Haridas that, said that Swamiji being a saint, he will not come to your court. So the Badshah has to go there to hear him in Vrindavan. And so much was the desire of Akbar, it is said, that he disguised himself and he traveled to Vrindavan along with Tansen. But Swami Haridas, since he was endowed with extraordinary powers, he recognized Akbar and asked him why he has taken so much trouble and come to Vrindavan. So Tansen told Swamiji of the Badshah's desire that he wanted to hear the music. Of course, he happily sang, and the music was so divine that Akbar presented jewels and gifts to him. To which Swami Haridas said that they are of no use to me. And if you insist on rewarding me, then listen to my music with closed eyes. Listen to my music with closed eyes. And Swamiji then sang the composition. And after finishing the composition, he asked Akbar, what is it that you saw? Do you know what Akbar said? He said that I saw that the banks of the river Yamuna, on the banks of river Yamuna, gopis are filling water. So Krishna is standing there and asking gopis to be careful. The Swamiji then asked Akbar to repair the stairs of the Yamuna bank as a reward. So Akbar also understood that he did not have the appropriate gift to fulfill Swamiji's wish. And similarly, I'd like to narrate one incident when Akbar praised Tansen for his profound knowledge of music and described him as an epitome of music. To which Tansen, वो नौका विहार कर रहे थे यमुना में. They were at the banks of they were doing. So he dipped his fingers in the Yamuna and told the emperor that as much as the water is wet on my fingers, is much that I know about music. Such is the depth. So you can imagine that when Tansen is saying like this, what it means. So there are so many incidents about these legends which are coming down. And I'd like to tell you one last legend about Tansen. So there's a tamarind tree near the tomb of Tansen in Gwalior. And it is said that whoever chews the leaves of that tree will be endowed with a sweet voice. So much was the urge of the public to have a sweet voice that apart from the tree, people even consume the roots. So the tree that is found today is the new tree which has come. So when K.L. Sehgal Saab came to Gwalior, to our Vidyalaya, Shankar Gandharv Vidyalaya, there he was requested to sing Babul Mora and then asked why he has come to Gwalior. So he said that I wanted to eat the leaves of tree and meet Badi Panditji. So now let me come to my family. काय तुम्हाला माहिती आहे मी मराठी आहे आणि आमचं आडनाव चिंचवडकर होतं. आय एम मराठी and our name 6 generations back was Chinswadkar. So many families from Maharashtra moved to Gwalior and Madhya Pradesh and settled there after the Scindias established it, their capital, in 1810. So I'm talking about 1810. So you'll see that in Madhya Pradesh, several, like Madhya Pradesh mein Bhopal, Dhar, Indore, Jabalpur, Ujjain, so many Maharashtrian families as there, and ours was also one family from Chinswad. And my forefathers, which is 6 generations back, Pandit Ramchandra Chinswadkar, he also moved. And he was a great scholar of Sanskrit, a Kirtankar actually. And being a Kirtankar, he was well versed in all the then popular styles of music. And Ramchandra Rao Chinswadkar, he settled in Lashkar. So Lashkar means an army. So Gwalior was called an army, like it's another name for Gwalior is Lashkar. He settled in Lashkar along with his son Vishnu Chinswadkar. And both of them were great scholars of Sanskrit, being Kirtankars. And being Kirtankars, they had deep interest in music, which brought them close to many musicians. At that time, Ustad Hassu, Haddu, Nathu Khan Saabs, who were the famous grandsons of the great Ustad Nathan Pir Baksh. So Nathan Pir Baksh is considered to be the father of the Gwalior Gharana. So the trio, they would accompany then Maharaja of Gwalior while singing the bhajans in the Devghar. So they needed such texts, pronunciations, and that's where Vishnu Chinswadkar, whose name got changed to Pandit, Vishnu Pandit, he taught Sanskrit shloks and Arya Abhangs of the famous Marathi poet Moropant to Ustad Hassu Haddu Nathu Khans. And Vishnu Pandit was well versed in the Vedas, in the Ved, and he taught his 4 sons, not only Sanskrit, but also Urdu and the Moody script, which was now the children, they were very, very talented. And Hassu Haddu Khan Sahab, they would be practicing in their basement cells. So Haddu Hassu Khan Sahab, they were treated like royalty by the Scindias. So they had palatial houses and they lived absolutely very, very luxurious life. Even today, you can see their vadas, where the entry gate itself, elephants can go inside. You can imagine. So these ustads, it was not easy to learn from them because they would teach only if they were pleased by any person, only then they would teach them. So you can imagine at that time, we're talking of those times when Brahmins had nothing to give. And in any case, these ustads, there was nothing you could give, to them. Because they were themselves completely living a very luxurious life. But Vishnu Chinswadkar, along with his 4 sons, Gopal Rao Pandit, Ganpat Rao Pandit, Eknath Pandit, and Shankar Pandit, they got the entry, very easy entry to their house, and they would hear to the talim and the riyaz of Haddu Hassu Khan Sahab, Rehmat Khan Sahab, and seeing their talent, Khan Sahab, they agreed to teach them. And that was such a big blessing for the Pandit family. because that's how the Vidya came in our family. Seeing the immense talent and the eagerness of the children and of the father, Haddu Asu Khan Sahab ke paas wo le jate the, और he was particularly, Khan Sahab was very happy to hear the bold and the sonorous voice of Shankar Pandit. So I'm just sharing with you how difficult it was at that time to learn. And one of the ustads, Nisar Hussain Khan Sahab, after the death of Nathu Khan Sahab, Maharaj Jayji appointed Nisar Hussain Khan Sahab as a court musician. But after Maharaja's death in 1886, Madhav Rao Scindia, I'm talking of the senior Madhav Rao Scindia, he being a minor, the power of administration was with the Regency Council of Gwalior. And they objected to the high salaries being paid to these ustads. And hence the salaries were reduced. Now, what incident I'm telling you is just to highlight that, उनका जो मिजाज था, जो उस्तादों का मिजाज था, मैं उसके बारे में आपको बताने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ कि वो इतने दुखी हो गए कि उन्होंने कोर्ट से रिजाइन कर दिया और वे विष्णु पंडित जी के घर में, यानी मेरे फोर फादर्स के घर में, he came and lived there till his last breath. From 1886 to 1916, he lived in Gwalior, in our house. Can you imagine at that time? This is such a unimaginable situation where a Muslim ustad is coming to his shishya's house, and living. Because at that time, the social structure was such that it was absolutely a taboo. But neither the people, I think everybody accepted that, and that's absolutely amazing. I feel this is, we're talking of equality these days, but look at these instances at that time. It gives me goosebumps. And the shishya, the students at that time, they were so much devoted. And I'd like to narrate one incident, which will be very difficult for you to digest. I must tell you that. Now, Tansen's Urs has been celebrated almost immediately since he died. And because the references of this have been found, they're as old as Tansen, and the dates used to be fixed according to the Muslim calendar. In one such incident, Haddu Khan was going to the Urs with his disciples, and this used to happen in July in Gwalior, where it is a season of extreme heat in Gwalior. तो क्या हुआ कि उनका एक बैल मर गया. One of his bullocks died. So Haddu Khan Sahib was very sad that he could not reach the venue of Tansen for his hazri. But one of his disciples from Punjab called Banne Khan, he was a wrestler, and he came forward and he said that, Guruji, I will be your bullock and I will take you. I will drag the cart. And this is how they reached the venue. Can you imagine this kind of Guru Bhakti of that time? But as I said, that Gwalior has witnessed the most amazing oh yes, I forgot to share with you some photographs that I had shared with Sukhiji, and I'm going to request. So here's Shankar Rao Pandit ji, who is my great grandfather, and the legendary Krishna Rao Shankar Pandit ji. We have generations who have heard 3 generations of Pandit family. And my father, Pandit Lakshman Krishna Rao Pandit ji. Do we have any other photograph? I think we have one photograph of 1904 also. A black and white one, yes. So this is Vishnu Pandit ji. This is, you can see 3 generations of the Pandit family here. 1904 की फोटोग्राफ है. हमारे पास कुछ और भी है क्या तस्वीरें? हाँ, रहमत खान साहब देखिए. एकनाथ पंडित जी, यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा चेंज हो गया है नेम्स. Nisar Hussain Khan Sahib is the one on the right, and Rahmat Khan Sahib is the one on the in the middle. I'm sorry about that. So, पर कितनी खूबसूरत फोटोग्राफ्स हैं, और क्या तेज है इन लोगों के। ये ऐसे लोग हैं जिन्होंने की इतनी तपस्या की है। They have you know, it's because of them that the music has reached here. Thank you so much, Sukhi, for sharing the pictures. So I'll share with you some um, styles that we sing. Like, for example, um, besides the Khyal, of course, for which Gwalior is well known, we have Tappa, we have Tarana, we have Chaturang, we have Trivat, Ashtapadi is there. So little I will tell you about them. I like to share. The first thing is about the style of say, let me talk about Ashtapadi. You might know about Ashtapadi. Swami Jaidev ki Ashtapadiyan hain, you know. So till now the lyrics of the Khyal were in Braj Bhasha, in Punjabi, and also in Marwari, because all the three languages are phonetically soft. Primarily the lyrics are in Braj Bhasha. Sanskrit was not very appropriate because Sanskrit is a little not phonetically very soft, you know. But Vishnu Pandit ji, he suggested the rendering of Ashtapadis of Swami Jaidev in Khyal style to Hassu Haddu Khan Sahib. And the Khan brothers, they immediately liked the idea because they required these devotional compositions to sing with the Maharaja in the Devghar. And Vishnu Pandit ji chose Ashtapadis, and Ustad Hassu Haddu Khan asked his disciples, Bade Balkrishna Bua, Shankar Rao Pandit, and Vasudev Rao Joshi to compose. Later, Nisar Hussain Khan Sahib, Shankar Pandit included Tappang also in the Ashtapadi. And these Ashtapadis are also in the Vilambit as well as in the Drut. So, just as a teaser, let me sing maybe a line for you, you know, for you to know what it is. So this one I'm singing in Rag Bhupali. Bhupali is a pentatonic scale, which is, उसमें 5 स्वर लगते हैं। सा रे गा पा धा सा, सा दा पा गा रे सा। तो ये जो अष्टपदी है, ये विलंबित ख्याल है। ये आ नाथ हरे जय नाथ हरे सीदती राधा रहे नाथ हरे जय नाथ। ये मैंने आपको एक केवल स्थाई गाया है, और इसका मैं आपको एक द्रुत ख्याल देने विच फास्ट कॉम्पोजिशन बताती हूँ। जय जय देव हरे हरे जय जय देव हरे श्रित कमला मंडल धृत कुंडल एकलित ललित वनमाल जय जय देव हरे हरे जय जय देव हरे। तो मैंने अभी दोनों की आपको स्थाई सुनाई। तो इसी में जो है, जिस तरह से हम ख्याल को अनफोल्ड करते हैं, थैंक यू, जिस तरह से हम अनफोल्ड करते हैं ख्याल को, वैसा ही है। ये संस्कृत में है, पर देखिए कितना मीठा लग रहा है, द वे हाउ इट इज। जय जय देव हरे जय जय देव हरे, जय 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 देव हरे, हरे जय जय देव हरे, जय जय देव हरे, श्रित कमला जय जय देव हरे। इतना बोलने के बाद गाना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है क्योंकि हमें इतना बोलने की आदत नहीं होती। मैं कोशिश कर रही हूँ क्योंकि मैं चाह रही थी कि बिकॉज यहाँ पे मुख्तलिफ किस्म की ऑडियंस है, नॉट जस्ट फॉर म्यूजिक। तो उस बिकॉज ऑफ खाकी लैब्स, दिस काइंड ऑफ म्यूजिक विल ऑल्सो यू विल बी एबल टू हियर. So, this is a very rare form. Ashtam, somebody's asking that where we'll find this. You can hear this in concerts sung by those performers who sing that, or a lot of archival recording is there of at NCPA, at IGNCA in Delhi. But Ashtabadis is very common to be heard during the dance performances. You must have seen the जो music होता है वो अष्टपदियों को use करते हैं. Now I want to tell you something about the Tappa style. Actually, there's so much to tell and the time is little. But I would definitely like to tell you about Tappa because this is so exciting. Do you know this Tappa is a style which is the contribution of Punjab. Now you will ask, how does this the Punjabi tappas that you've heard, that those tappas which are sung in the marriages, etc., is different than what I'm saying. This is those tappas which are sung in classical style, not the tappas which is sung during the marriages. वो अलग है, वो मुख्तलिफ है और ये अलग है. Tappa is basically a style which is influenced, कहते हैं ना, ऊंट की चाल से कहते हैं कि इनका इस फॉर्म का उद्भव हुआ है. दिस गॉट prominence and formed from that. So it was Shori Mia, who is considered to be the father of the style, and it is considered to be one of the most challenging forms and most enduring forms, which requires riyaz over many period of years. And it has its own individual identity. And why is it so difficult? Because the kind of acrobatics that it involves, is extremely difficult to sing. But the lyrics of the compositions are primarily, they're coming from the dialects spoken in Multan of undivided India and surrounding regions. And there's so much use of zamzama, which is an embellishment, particularly in the northwestern frontiers. I'm talking of the undivided India. So Shori Mia, he is considered to be the innovator of this Tappa style. And it is said that Shori Mia was very thin, but he had an extremely flexible voice. And it did not make an impact in the singing. So he was inquisitive about a gaiki, which highlighted the flavor of his voice. So उन्होंने एक ऐसी गायकी का इजाद किया जो कि एक बहुत ही जिसे कहते हैं लचीली आवाज को सूट करती है. So I'm just going to sing a short tappa for you, maybe just a line, for you to just get a flavor of this thing, because शायद आपको कभी सुना नहीं होगा आपने. So let me sing something in Rag Khamaj. Why not? Khamaj is a beautiful rag. So the instrument which you can hear is the tanpura. It is an electronic tanpura that I'm using. चार पहचानी मियाँ मैं तो चाल पहचानी, मियाँ मैं तो बिसरांदा जानी वे, मियाँ मैं तो चाल पहचानी, चाल पहचानी वे, चाल चाल पहचानी, मियाँ मैं तो नायिका कह रही है चाल पहचानी मियाँ मैं तो। कितनी अच्छी बात वो कह रही है ना, when she is mocking him। चाल पहचान मियाँ चाल पहचानी, मैं तो। So just a small glimpse I wanted to give, and that's the reason I sang. More tappa, some more tappa and another rag if possible. Oh my God, after so much of talking, but कुछ गाती हूँ मैं आपके लिए। तो इसी राग में मैं एक और टप्पा गाती हूँ, एक मुखड़ा आपको सुनाती हूँ, दिल लगा रहंदा यार वे। तो देखिए ये इसके जो सब लिरिक्स होते हैं, ये कोई भी आपको ये टप्पे रिलीजियस या भक्ति भाव के नहीं मिलेंगे। सभी जो आपको टप्पे मिलेंगे वो रोमांटिक हैं, और वो नायिका के रूप से आता है, यानी कि चाल पहचानी मियाँ मैं तो, या दिल लगा रहंदा यार वे, या दिल ले जानदा वे, सो द नायिका इज टॉकिंग अबाउट इट। तो इसके पीछे क्या है कि जो पहले जो है द नायक जो है वो ऊंट पर जाते थे, तो जो ऊंट की जो चाल पर जो है ये टप्पे बने हैं। तो एक आपको मुखड़ा सुनाती हूँ और उसके बाद आपसे इजाजत लूंगी मैं। दिल लगा रहंदा यार वे, तुझ बिन आ, दिल लगा रहंदा यार हर वे, तुझ बिन कमला इश्क बीच अपना हीरा हेरा, दिल लगा रहंदा यार, दिल लगा रहंदा यार, यार वे, दिल लगा रहंदा यार। वही थोड़ा सा मैंने आपके सामने गाया, थैंक यू सो मच। मैंने कोशिश की कि थोड़ा
थोड़ा
सा
सा
ग्वालियर के बारे में आपको बता
बता
सकूं।
सकूं। थैंक यू सो मच मीता जी, दैट वाज ब्यूटीफुल। आपने कितनी मधुरता से और कितनी सुंदरता से हमको यू हैव कंबाइंड the history of Gwalior, the story of Tansen ji, the musical legacy of your family in the most lyrical way. Such beautiful renditions, and I can understand how hard it is to be talking and then to be rendering music in that and over this very suboptimal Zoom session, because the microphones just take away the notes completely. I really hope that we can have you sit in person with us one of these days and call some of our audience to perform and tell us about music. Inshallah, we'll work on that with you. So that was just truly delightful. I hope that the legacy continues and you can train more people who will learn. Music needs to live on and develop and grow. But thank you very much. I'll just run through the questions. Especially interesting is when we hear stories such as what you've narrated for us, the learnings that are really great. When you talked about Tansen's humility, and you talked about how much water, you realize that the greater the person, the more humble they become, and so much learning for us. Really very very nice anecdotes, and your pictures are beautiful. Tell us a little bit about how you've managed to preserve some of these old pictures in your family.
Yes, we have a huge,
Say that. Go ahead.
we had a huge collection of photographs.
Okay. Okay.
Kind of thing.
Okay. So, is there now a couple of questions I know people have had? Where can they hear your music?
Oh, that's absolutely. Maybe if you mute yourself, it will not bounce. Yeah. So, the sorry, what was I talking about? The music, of course, you can hear me if you can hear me on the YouTube. You can hear me in person when I sing. I am very much regularly performing all over India and abroad. So वो आप सुन सकते हैं. And of course on YouTube, if you type my name, Meeta Pandit, you will get my music. And there's so much on Spotify and several other channels, which is already there. So that's of course there. And we were talking about Tansen. मुझे एक और किस्सा याद आ रहा है. If you permit me, I can tell you about it. So regarding Riaz, Tansen, what he said, when Emperor Akbar was praising Tansen, you know, that how good you sing. So he said that if I don't sing, if I don't do Riyaz, one day if I don't do Riyaz, I come to know. 2 days I don't do, Emperor comes to know. 3 days I don't do, public comes to know. So ये क्या ऐसे कहा जाता है कि ये तो लोहे का चने चबाने वाला काम होता है ना, जैसे कि बहुत मुश्किल काम होता है, उसको ऐसे कहते हैं. So it is a difficult job because it is you have to be so much, especially the classical arts require so much of riyaz and so much of, you know, practice they do require. And that is the reason why patronage is so important, you know. That time there was patronage from the courts. Now it is a patronage from the people, from the corporates. That is what we look for, you know. And otherwise it's very difficult for serious art forms to survive without that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that is, you're absolutely right that the patronage is important for the artists to continue. And we talk about the same thing for any part of our heritage to be maintained.
Yes.
That patronage is required to conserve that, and for you to be able to focus on your art rather than worry about your, day-to-day sort of living. So absolutely well said. And it's been such a treat to hear you, even as you know, to describe as you've gone along. Jyoti has a question. She wants to know about Mrignayani's contribution to music, if there was anything.
Yes. Mrignayani was herself a musician, and she was very much interested in music, and she sang. और कहते हैं कि गुजरी तोड़ी भी, you know, वहीं से बना है. और उनका बहुत contribution है preservation of art, especially music के लिए.
She gets credit with our Emporia named after her, so isn't it? Mrignayani, yeah, that is true. Okay, I think there are a lot of compliments because I think it's been a great sort of experience to hear you live and hear the anecdotes from you. So thank you very much. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you to the audience for joining us for our 270th talk this evening. We look forward to hearing Neetaji in person sometime, and we look forward to having our audience back here again next Saturday. Thank you and enjoy your weekend, everyone.